Well, hello, all of my students. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Jay, and welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, I have a lengthy story that I am going to read, and I am going to explain the vocabulary words that are in today's story. Now, this is going to be a long episode. If I can get it all in one, I will, but if I have to do a part two, then I will do that as well. So I am going to speak at an up tempo to challenge your comprehension. And so I hope you're ready for some learning and laughter. Let's dive into today's story. It was upon a misty evening in late September when I, Jonathan Hale, received a most peculiar summons from my old acquaintance, Mr. Edmund Price. Okay, so a misty evening is the first vocabulary word. I took the time to get a picture to help describe what a misty evening is. A misty evening can be described as a foggy evening. Here you see a picture of a misty evening where there's fog out, there's a lot of condensation in the air, such as this, such as that. That's what you would describe as a misty evening, okay? Now, notice, if you will, the next vocabulary word here, peculiar. Something that is peculiar is somewhat strange, okay? So it may be peculiar for you to come home to find your front door unlocked. I live in a rural area, which is not the city, so it's somewhat country. Well, it is country. And so a lot of people leave their doors unlocked, and so it's not peculiar. So when something is peculiar, it's unusual or strange. Notice that Jonathan summoned his old acquaintance Edmund. Okay, to summon means to notify. An acquaintance is a friend. Let's continue with today's story. The letter written in his hurried script. So he had messy handwriting. Hurried script. Script has to do with someone's handwriting. My wife has a messy script, or her handwriting is messy. But I didn't marry her for her handwriting skills. Contained but a few cryptic words. Meet me at the corner of Baker Street at 9. So cryptic, okay? Cryptic words. You would describe cryptic words as something that's hard to understand. Why would Jonathan want me to meet at Baker Street at 9 o'clock? Okay, that's cryptic. I don't get it. Why? What's going on? What's the problem? Such an invitation, spare in detail, yet charged with urgency. So when you're reading, this is called a context clue. If you didn't know what cryptic meant, notice it defines it in the next sentence. Such an invitation, notice, spare in detail. So not a lot of information, not a lot of details, yet charged with urgency. So the letter was spare in detail, but there was an urgency. I need you to meet me at 9 o'clock, okay? Wanting him to do something that seemed very important. Could not be disregarded. With my curiosity kindled, I donned my coat and set forth into the gas-lit streets. So he donned his coat. or he put his coat on. His curiosity kindled, okay? So he was wondering, what's going on here, okay? What's about to happen at 9 o'clock? I hope the suspense is grabbing you. As I arrived at the appointed spot, my eyes scanned the dim thoroughfare. Okay, that's a tongue twister. My eyes scanned. Okay, so that's just another way of saying he looked around. His eyes scanned. Okay, looked around. Only the faint flicker of the lamps kept the darkness at bay. The faint flicker. So candle lights flicker. Okay, the light bulb flickers, goes on and off, moves around. It's flickering. A flag flickers in the wind. Okay. Presently, I discerned a figure slouched against a carriage. Okay. I discerned. Okay. He recognized a slouched figure. So someone was, like this, slouched over, trying to hide. Okay, someone that is slouched over, they have their back bent, they don't want to be seen, they are trying to camouflage themselves from you seeing them. Okay, hiding behind a bush. He slouched behind the chair to hide from his kids while they were playing hide and seek. Okay, so to slouch, to bend over. It was Mr. Price, though his usual cheer seemed cloaked in, notice this word, solemnity. Okay, so he was solace, he was peaceful. Normally an excited man, he was laid back and chill, as we say. Before I could greet him, two stout men. Okay, I am not stout. I am slender. Okay, so I am a slim man. A stout man is someone who, a little bit more muscular than I am. Appeared from the shadows with theatrical vigor. Okay, so with a lot of energy, they seized him. They grabbed him. They seized him, bound his hands, and forced him into the carriage. Sounds like a kidnapping to me. So when someone is kidnapped, they are taken against their own power. Someone is forcing them to do something. Let's find out what happens. I confess, I was momentarily struck dumb. Okay, so when someone is struck dumb, they didn't know what was going on. We describe a person that is struck dumb. It was like they were like a deer in the headlights. You ever seen a deer about to get hit by a car and the headlights blind them and they're like, what do I do? Where do I go? He was stunned dumb. He didn't know what to do. A kidnapping carried out so boldly in the heart of the city. So in the heart of the city, in the middle of the city, seemed astonishing. When someone is bold enough to do a crime in daylight, that's saying something, okay? And so that's what happened here. There was an astonishing feat that took place. A kidnapping right in broad daylight. Okay. I confess I was momentarily struck dumb. A kidnapping carried out so boldly in the heart of the city seemed astonishing. Yet in that instant, I felt compelled to act. I hailed a passing cab and instructed the driver to pursue the fleeing carriage. I hailed a cab. So When someone hails a cab, they are calling the cab to them. They're saying, hey, taxi, 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 over here, taxi. Hailing a cab. They want the cab to come and provide them service. Okay? Hailing a cab. Through winding alleys and cobblestone lanes we sped, the wheels rattling like musket fire. My mind swirled with conjecture. So he was confused. Had Mr. Price fallen into the clutches of debt collectors? Did he owe someone some money? Or perhaps some vengeful adversary sought retribution. So he was wondering, did he owe someone some money? Or did someone do him wrong and they were coming for some revenge, or as we say, some get back? Some get back. I want my get back, okay? You scratch my car with your keys, I am going to have retribution on you. I'm going to throw eggs at your house, okay? That's my get back. That's my revenge. At length, the carriage halted before a desolate warehouse near the Thames. With cautious steps, I approached the doorway. The air was damp, laced with the odor of coal, smoke, and river water. Boy, it stank. Inside, a single lantern illuminated. It shined. The light was bright. These lights beside me illuminate my room, okay? A single lantern illuminated the vast chamber. There, seated upon a chair, was Mr. Price, his wrist bound with rope, but his expression curiously serene. So he was kidnapped and he was very calm. I don't think I would be serene in such an event. I may be nervous. I think I would be fearful. I don't think I would be serene with my hands bound to a chair, not knowing who took me or where I am. Before I could intervene, a door creaked open and a dozen figures burst forth shouting, "Surprise!" Intervene, okay? So when someone intervenes, and it rhymes with serene, when someone intervenes, they actually impose, okay? They interrupt. They are someone that steps in the middle. So if you and your friend were arguing, I could intervene to stop the argument. Okay, I would step in and I would say, hey, you two, stop it. You're best friends. Okay, you've been friends for 5 years. Apologize, and let's move on. Okay, I would intervene. My astonishment was complete. Streamers hung from the rafters. A cake rested upon a wooden crate. And friends from every corner of Mr. Price's circle gathered round with laughter. So his friend set up a fake kidnapping or staged a kidnapping to take him to a surprise birthday party. I hope you guys like that twist in the story. Oh, I put that together. I hope you guys like that. The ropes fell away. Well, let me back up. Streamers hung from the rafters. So streamers are basically decorations, okay? When someone has a birthday party, you usually see a lot of things hanging from the ceiling. It's just decorations. Hanging from the rafters, hanging from the ceiling, hanging from upward, anything above, hanging from the rafters. Okay. Jonathan, he declared, permit me to explain. It is my dearest friend Charles' birthday this very evening. I resolve to honor him with a most unusual celebration. Knowing his fondness for mystery novels and his penchant for excitement, I conceived the notion of staging a false abduction. Great vocabulary word. Another word for kidnapping, to be abducted or an abduction. Okay? Knowing his fondness. Okay? When someone is fond of something or someone, they really are attracted or have a liking towards something or someone. By such means, we have brought him, he gestured grandly, to his own party. So when he gestured grandly, he said, we have brought him. Let me show you what it means to gesture. He says, we have brought him to his own party. Basically saying, look around, all of this is for you. Okay? He gestured. From behind the crowd emerged Charles Bennett, a man of mild temperament or attitude and scholarly appearance. Scholarly, so it was someone who looked educated. Okay, scholarly appearance, mild temperament, just chill, someone who was very relaxed. His spectacles perched precariously upon his nose. Spectacles, glasses, okay? We used to call them specs. So his spectacles perched or set on his nose, like, hello there, my name is Cedric. Okay? Perched upon his nose, and his bewilderment rendered him momentarily speechless. Okay? Momentarily, for a moment. Then, observing the crowd of well-wishers and the glowing candles upon the cake, he broke into hearty laughter. Edmund, you rogue! Basically said, you silly dude, he exclaimed. Never have I endured such terror, nor such delight in equal measure. So, in other words, he was afraid and excited at the same time. The company applauded. Glasses were raised. So, glasses were raised lets us know that they took a toast, okay? Everyone raised their glasses, okay? Cheers, everyone. They raised their glasses, getting ready to drink their champagne, maybe, okay? As the evening progressed, I could not resist drawing Mr. Price aside to remonstrate with him or to talk with him. Edmund, I said, your scheme was ingenious or very, very smart, yet perilously reckless. Okay, it was fun, it was smart, but someone could have gotten hurt. That's what reckless means. Okay, someone could have gotten hurt. You can be a reckless driver. Okay, you can play sports recklessly, so you can behave in such a way where someone might get hurt. A lesser heart might have faltered under such fright. Did you not consider the consequences should Charles or any witness mistake the act for reality? So he was saying someone could have seen you throw me in the truck, blindfolded me, bound my hands, and actually thought that this was real when it was fake. He chuckled, sipping his wine with evident satisfaction, My dear Jonathan, what is life without a touch of drama? Isn't he right? I mean, you got to have some fun. Spice it up, we say. Charles has long admired the tales of detectives and their elaborate deceptions. I simply gave him an adventure worthy of fiction. Observe him now. See how his laughter outshines the candles. Indeed, Mr. Bennet was at the moment regaling the guest with his exaggerated account of the ordeal of the situation, okay? The ordeal, the circumstance. His earlier alarm transmuted into a tale of valor. Okay, so he went from being scared to being excited, or being someone that was brave to go through such an adventure. His voice carried across the hall, and all who listened were entranced. Though I maintained a measure of disapproval for Edmund's reckless stratagem, I could not deny the success of his design. The party proceeded with joyous harmony. Music filled the chamber. Toasts were given in abundance, and the cake, though modest, was devoured with gusto. So it was a small cake, but everyone ate it very quickly. Even I, who had entered the night expecting grim crime, found myself charmed by the festive spirit. When the hour grew late and the revelers dispersed into the foggy night, I walked alongside Mr. Bennet. His countenance glowed with contentment. So he was smiling. His countenance, his face, how he looked. Jonathan, he said warmly, this event shall remain etched in my memory. For though the ruse startled me beyond measure, it revealed the depth of Edmund's devotion. He said, though you scared me, I know you are a true friend. You're loyal. Such friends are rare indeed. Thus concluded the most curious case of the vanished gentleman. A case of not of malice, but of merit. And while I, Jonathan Hale, may never condone such perilous theatrics, I must admit the adventure had all the qualities of a mystery, save one. It ended not with a revelation of guilt, but with laughter, cake, and friendship. Wow. You know, when you have a friend that is loyal, that is something that you should really cherish. And let me say, as I drop my phone, all friendships go through different stages, problems, and such. But when you have a friend that is loyal and dependable and really knows and cares about you, that is someone that you should appreciate. And I believe a good friend is not someone who just does good for you, but also someone that will wound you or hurt your feelings by telling you the truth when you may not want to hear it. A good friend tells you what you need, not what you want to hear. Well, I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. It didn't turn out as long as I wanted, so we're right under 30 minutes. If you have enjoyed today's English lesson through story, be sure to share it with a friend. And as always, I hope you join me on my next English lesson. I'll see you then.